Now let's look at the second part of what we want to learn about solving literal equations. We are still rearranging formulas to highlight a different variable. One variable is already isolated. We're going to isolate a different variable. But today we want to look at two-step literal equations. Okay, so let's go back to 7th grade and let's look at a two-step equation. 2x minus 5 equals 13. So we all know that we would first add 5 to both sides. And that would give us 2x equals 18. Then we would divide both sides by 2. And we would get x is 9. Okay? Same idea that we're going to do with two-step literal equations, okay? So here we've got the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. The perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length, because there's 2 lengths, plus 2 times the width. There's 2 widths, okay? We're solving for W. So this is our goal right here, to get W all by itself. So that would be like X up here. And the first thing we need to get rid of is this 2L. That would be like this 5 right here. Okay, so this is 2L plus 2W, and this is a positive 2L. So our inverse operation is we're going to subtract 2L from both sides. So I end up, this 2L minus 2L is 0. I can bring down my 2W equals, now remember, these are not like terms, so this is where things start to look really weird. P minus 2L, since those are not like terms, I just copy them. Okay, so now it's 2 times W, so I'm up to this part right here. I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I have to divide the whole side by 2. I have to do it like that, okay? So those 2's cancel, and I get W equals P minus 2L all over 2. All right, looks very, very weird, but that is how we would isolate W. So the width of a rectangle is the perimeter minus 2 times the length, all divided by 2. All right, so this is a surface area formula. This is kind of a weird formula that we see mostly in geometry, but you may have done something similar to that last year in 7th grade. So I have the surface area, this is of a prism, I believe, equals the perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. Really complicated, right? All we want is to isolate B. So I'm going to keep this term where it is. This is a positive pH, so I'm going to subtract pH from both sides. Remember to, if it's a capital letter, use a capital letter. If it's a lowercase letter, use a lowercase letter. I'm going to bring down 2b. pH minus pH is 0. I'm going to bring down my equal sign. S minus pH, these are not like terms, so all I can do is copy them. S minus pH. Now, this is 2 times b, so my inverse operation is division, and I'm going to divide the whole side by 2. Okay, so those cancel, and I have B equals S minus PH all over 2. The next thing we want to do that is also a two-step type equation is something that we're going to spend a lot of time with in a few weeks. This is something that we're going to need to be very, very good at just not too much longer down the road. Okay, so we're just going to introduce it now, get some practice, and we'll learn what it means and what to do with it in a few weeks. All right, so every one of these, I want to solve for y. I want to isolate y. All right, so first I have 2x plus y equals 7. I'm trying to isolate y, so I need to move the 2x first. This is a positive 2x, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I'm going to bring down my y equals. Now, how I would write this, because of what we're going to do later, write the term with the x first. These are not like terms. I can't combine them. So I'm going to write the negative 2x first, and I'm going to write the plus 7 last. You will know later why we're writing it that way, okay? So for right now, just do it. Put the term with the x first. Now this is 1y. So this is already isolated, right? This was really just a one-step thing. So I am done. I got y equals negative 2x plus 7. Okay, let's look at this one. 4x plus 3y equals 6. My goal is to solve for y. I'm trying to isolate y. So I need to get rid of this positive 4x first. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. I'm going to bring down my 3y because 4x minus 4x is 0 equals, these are not like terms. I can't combine 6 and negative 4x. I want you to write the negative 4x first, and I want you to write the positive 6 last. You'll know why later. Okay, now this is 3 times y, so I'm going to divide by 3. And the way I want you to show it now is I want you to divide every term by 3. Divide every term by 3. So this 3 over 3 cancels, and I'm left with y. This right here becomes a fraction. This becomes negative 4/3, and that will be my coefficient of x. Okay, so negative 4/3, and then 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I end up with y equals negative 4/3 x plus 2. All right, let's do it again. 2x minus 3y equals 18. I'm trying to solve for y, so I'm going to leave this alone. I need to get rid of that positive 2x. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I'm going to bring down be careful here, this is a negative 3. So I'm going to bring down a negative 3y equals, these are not like terms, they do not combine. So write the negative 2x first and then the plus 18. Now, this is negative 3 times y, so my inverse operation is to divide, and I want you to divide everything, every term by negative 3. Okay, now be careful with your signs here. The negative over a negative and 3 over 3, that becomes 1. So y equals, this is a negative 2 over a negative 3. What happens with a negative divided by a negative? That becomes a positive 2/3 x, just leave it as a fraction, and then 18 divided by negative 3 is negative 6. So I end up with y equals 2/3 x minus 6. All right, let's do it one more time. This one doesn't look too bad, does it? It's got some negatives. Let's see what happens. X minus y equals negative 9. I need to isolate y, so I need to take care of that x first. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. Notice this is a negative y, so I'm going to bring down minus y equals, write the term with the x first, and then minus 9. Now, are we done? Is y isolated? No, there's a minus sign in front. What's the coefficient? The coefficient's negative 1, right? If there's not a number there, it's a 1. So I'm going to divide every term by negative 1. Every term by negative 1. So negative 1 divided by negative 1 cancels, and I'm left with y equals, now look here, I got a negative divided by a negative, which is a positive, and a 1 divided by 1, that's just 1x, right? So that's just going to become x, and then negative 9 divided by negative 1 becomes positive 9. So notice what happened. I had a negative y equals negative x minus 9. So positive y equals positive x plus 9. All the signs changed. Okay, this is something, like I said, we're going to do a lot with later. I just want you to get some practice with it now. All right, you are ready to do your practice.